Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Mondays with Michele video. This week's topic, Alberta's homestead records. We'll talk about what they are, where to find them, and what clues they hold that can help you with your research. Let's get started. As many of you are probably aware, when your ancestors came to Canada, a lot of them probably came with the intention of farming and getting land. So there were various different schemes, but certainly one of the popular means of people getting farmland was through homesteading. So the Provincial Archives of Alberta has some really good background information on the homestead records. This particular website, and I'll have the links in the handout, gives you an overview of the kind of information you can find in the records. They had to indicate their age in the homestead application. You'll find typically where they were born, their former place of residence, the date that they actually started to homestead. So that's called the date of entry on the land. It indicates if they're married or not, and if there is information about their naturalization status, you'll find that there as well. So basically, the Provincial Archives has taken all of these homestead files for Alberta and digitized them. They used to have the files available on the Alberta Archives website. What they've now done is put them on the Internet Archive. So there is a step-by-step procedure here on how to locate your information. Basically, the first step is looking at this Alberta Homestead Index. And I've got that link up. So basically, there's a little bit about it. And you have this search screen where you can type in a surname and a given name, or you could search by the description of the land if you had that, or a film number, a file number. So what I did was I searched by surname, and I've just got the results here. So my friend's ancestor's name was Yaseko, first name Vasil. So when I typed that in and clicked search, I got 4 results. And this entry here, this first entry, is the homestead file that I wanted to look at. Now, if you just click request, you are sending a request to the Alberta Genealogical Society to actually get copies of that record. You can look at the files yourself instead of paying someone else to take copies of the information. So what you need is this PAA reference, this 70.313, the last 2 digits, and then the .313. That's part of the reference number for the film you're looking for. You need the film number, 2930, and the file number. So once I noted all that information down, the next thing you do is you go to the digitized images of the homestead files that are on the Internet Archive. And this is the page on the Internet Archive for the Alberta Homestead Records. Now, normally when you first go into this page, the default is it shows everything as thumbnails. And what you're going to want to do is either click the thumbnail image again or click the item beside it, which says show us list, because you'll notice the film number is part of the name of each of these digitized images. So this is what you want to scan through to find your correct entry. The other thing you're going to want to do is click title. So it's going to sort by title, because otherwise, if you look down, if we scan through these numbers, you'll notice they are not in numerical sequence. So if we click title, you notice now they are in numerical sequence, which makes it much easier for you to find the film you're looking for. And if I scroll down, there is 2930. This is the particular image that I need to look at. So I clicked this, and I'm now into this digitized film. Now, a few things to note. The way information is organized is by file number. That's why, if we look back at our file results here, that's why you needed to know this long file number. So if I go back into this film, and the way this interface works, at the very bottom of the screen, you've got some icons. You've got a forward and back arrow. You can either have it show as single page, dual page, or thumbnails to see multiple pages. And what you are looking for is these sideways pieces of paper, which are the actual separator file pages. So this is basically the first page of the file. There's the file number, 2131772. If I was to page through the information, now we're at the next separator, 2131773. Now, the file number I want is quite a ways into this record. I want 2132473. So 2473 is quite a ways in. So what you can do, and what I did, was just grabbed that little circle on the bottom left and drag to scroll. So I'm going to drag to about halfway through the film. And then I'm going to go back to thumbnail to see where the next separator file will be. There it is. And let's check the film number. I'm getting closer, 2234. So this is how you would kind of scan through the film and jump around. You can't easily type in an image number, but by dragging this scroll bar, you can see the page number at the bottom right is changing. So I was able to locate my friend's file. This is 2132473. That is the start of the file. So I'm going to click the little magnifying glass with the plus sign to zoom in a bit. And let's look at what's in his file. So what we're seeing first is his application for a homestead. So it shows where he is right now. He's in Sacred Heart, Alberta. He wants a homestead. It gives the location of the plot of land that he wants. So this information would allow you to find that plot on a map. It says he is a citizen of Austria. And he says, it's my intention to become a British subject under the laws of Canada. So we've got some very useful background information on him. And in this bottom section, if I enlarge it a bit more, it says how many people in the family. There's one adult male, one adult female, 2 children under the age, I believe that's 12, for a total of 4 people. It says he was born in Austria, in Galicia, and it's hard to read this, but this would give his last place of residence and his previous occupation, farmer. And if we look at this information on the next page, this is where he's giving, again, some very useful information. So this is giving us the date in 1910 when he first applied. What I found the most interesting, though, were these next pages. So what we have here is statements from friends, neighbors, to support his homestead request. And you can learn a lot about the individual by looking at the statements of those friends or neighbors. It says he was on the land continuously from May 1911. And it says how much ground did he break and what has been put into crops. He has horses. He has cattle. He has a stable and a granary that he built. So it says what other buildings have been erected on his homestead. So you start to get a real picture of what that homestead looked like, because they're even kind enough to give dimensions and give dollar amounts. We looked at the sworn statement of his neighbors, but you notice there are actually 4 pieces of paper on this one page. This is the statement of Vasil Yaseko, the person who is applying for the homestead grant. So he is also giving his answers to all this information. And you look up here, you even find out what the buildings are made of. So they were log buildings. There was a straw roof. There's information on some claims he had that he had previously applied that were abandoned. Here, at this point in time, when he filled out the form, he says he has a wife, 4 girls, and 1 boy. There's a few more children in the family. His original application had said there were 2 children in the house. So my point is, you are getting an awful lot of interesting information in these documents. And if we page through, what was really interesting about his file, I'll just shrink this down a bit, there was also much later correspondence from 1954 where he was applying for old age pension, and he'd actually written to the land office to get them to verify his age so that he could qualify. And that's what this is all about. So they're saying, I have your letter. I wish to inform you our records indicate that Vasil Yaseko gave his age as 29 years, and we are also finding out his naturalization date. He was naturalized on the 22nd of April, 1913. So that's another clue that I then followed up to find naturalization information. And now we're into a brand new file. And there is another article I'll give you a link to. It gives some hints for how to search as far as being able to navigate through and find what you're looking for. Similar to what I showed you, you can look at the thumbnails. You're looking for those sideways start of file markers. There's also a link I'll give you to Library and Archives Canada, information on land grants, which includes some information on homestead files. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to download the handout. You'll find the link in the video description at the bottom of your screen. You may need to click Show More to see the handout links. Thanks for watching.